This video is brought to you by Squarespace. Welcome back, everyone. In this video, we are going to look at some viewer work that is submitted, but before I get to that, I want to talk a little bit about the Hasselblad Masters competition. So the Hasselblad Masters competition is this thing that Hasselblad does every 2 years, and it is an open competition. People can submit their work. Winners are selected. You can win a 100 megapixel camera this time around with 2 XCD lenses. It's one of my favorite cameras that has been produced in the last couple of years. It is awesome. So this is a judged competition. Winners are selected in a number of categories I'll talk about in a second. And essentially what happens is if you're selected as a winner in a category, you get a camera, you get a chance to make some new work. There's a budget of 5,000 euros involved to do said work. And then they publish all the winners in their book that they do every 2 years. So this year is the latest one, and the deadline for entry is going to be February 29th. Now, a couple of things I want to show you about the competition. I will put a link in the show description below if you think you have what it takes to become a Hasselblad master. You don't need to currently be shooting on a Hasselblad, just you need to be able to make good work and submit it. There are 8 judges for this competition. You'll see that if you go to the link in the description. And the categories that are included this year are landscape, architecture, portrait, street. We have art, and then a little thing called Project 21. Now, Project 21 is really cool because this is a category for young photographers. So basically anybody under the age of 21. I think this is a really cool opportunity to showcase some younger people who are doing amazing work. And as I mentioned, the prizes include a Hasselblad 100 megapixel medium format camera, 2 XCD lenses, and you're gonna get a creative fund of 5,000 euros and an opportunity for your work to be published in the Hasselblad Masters book. So check out the link below this video in the description to learn more. I'll put a link. You can see all the rules and guidelines on here of what's accepted and how to submit your work and all that stuff. I think this is a really cool competition. For one, I can't think of a lot of camera companies who have just an open call like this, which is really cool. And the thing is that it gives you 3 opportunities here. First of all, you can obviously win a camera, which is really cool. Second of all, you can get your work exposure if you win in one of the categories and make it into the book. But also it's important that you're going to get your work into front of the eyes of some of the people that are pretty big names in the industry. So I highly recommend you check it out. Again, the deadline for submissions is going to be the end of the month this month, so February 29th. So put a link in the description if you want to learn more. And without further ado, let's get to some of your work. Okay, so first up, we have this little zine that comes to us from a German photographer named Dimitri Dreyer. Dimitri also includes a note which reads, "Dear Ted, allow me to introduce myself. I am Dimitri Dreyer, a photographer based in Berlin. It is a privilege to share with you my debut mini-zine, Whispers of the Abandoned. This project encapsulates my personal exploration into the art of zine making. Inside its pages, you will discover a blend of photographs capturing the mystique of old GDR Hospital, harmoniously intertwined with sketches and stories that unveil its hidden charm. I would truly be honored if you could spare a moment to explore my mini-zine, and if time allows, share your insights. Your role as an inspiration in my creative journey has been invaluable, and I wanted to express my gratitude by offering a piece of my own creation. Thank you for being a guiding light in the world of photography. Warmest regards, Dimitri." So Dimitri, this is really cool. A couple things that I want to say about this. First of all, if you've watched my channel over the years, you know that I love little tiny things that come in. I think this is such a cool way of working. It's something that a lot of people don't do. People like to go big and they like big books or, and I think there's something to be said for something that just really draws you in. The other thing that I love about this, in case you couldn't pick it up on the video, this is entirely handmade. It is printed out and folded and bound, and actually it's just loosely bound, it's just folded. I don't really love this. I think it's really cool, and I want to make a comment about this because, when a lot of times I'll get questions from people who are not sure what is the difference between a zine and a book. And one of the things that I love about zines is they're sort of sketches. They're rough ideas. It can be loose like this. A book is something that's more formal. There's a portfolio included. Sometimes there's a narrative, but it's always bound and professionally done. And I love zines, and I think the whole zine culture thing is so refreshing from that standpoint because it's just handmade. I also love the fact that Dimitri just explores one thing in here. He doesn't try to go too deep. It's just very simple, very clear on what he's trying to illustrate, and I like the illustrations and kind of the sketchbook vibe that comes with this too. So Dimitri, nice work. Thank you for sharing. I'll put a link to Dimitri's work as well as everybody else that I'm covering in this video in the show description below, so make sure you check them all out. All right, I've got a couple more things that I want to share with you. We've got a cool zine that comes to us from Gerard O'Malley as well as a bunch of stuff from Tara Morgan. But real quick, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor this week, who are the awesome folks over at Squarespace. How easy is it to build an amazing website in a matter of minutes? Squarespace has you covered. It's dead simple. Head over to Squarespace, hit get started. You can start by selecting from an impressive collection of customizable templates, or you can do what I do, build your own. Something unique because, you're not like other websites. Give your site a name. Next, you can build your homepage. We'll start with a few preset layouts just to get us going. Want to sell products like books or prints? Well, you can feature those on your homepage. Create a few more sections if you want. Let's also give it a color palette. There's a whole bunch to choose from, and just get us started. We can change this all later. Next, let's select the typography choices. Welcome to your website. Everything is set up and it's all ready for you to customize. Squarespace is built on Fluid Engine, the next generation of website design. Select Edit, and Fluid Engine allows you to drag, place, and resize any element on the page. You can snap these to a grid, you can make them float on top of one another, you can freeform however you like. You can even preview and adjust how the site looks on either desktop or mobile. The layouts are independent. Of course, you'll want a portfolio for your work. Creating an image gallery is as easy as dropping a folder of images on your web browser. Once uploaded, you can drag to resort, customize the look, and Squarespace writes all of the code for you. Everything just works and it looks fabulous. Want to sell your own prints, books, or zines? Squarespace has the capabilities to not only set up your online store and collect payments, but they also give you all the tools that you're going to need to be successful. Managing shipping and payment options, manage your orders, and engage with your customers. They even give you the tax tools that you need to keep things organized and stay compliant. You should try Squarespace for yourself. It's absolutely free, no credit card required. Just go to squarespace.com/AOP, sign up for that free trial. If you decide Squarespace is right for you, I can save you an additional 10% on your order by using offer code AOP on checkout. That's right, the code is AOP. So stop procrastinating, go build your website today. And I want to give a special shout out and thanks to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. All right, so next up we've got this awesome little zine called The Wooden Jetty. This comes to us from Gerard O'Malley, who's a photographer from Newton, PA. He includes a note which reads, "Dear Ted, I have been shooting film as a hobby for the past 3 years, and although I'm old enough to have used film point and shoots prior to the digital age to document family life, currently I am working on a project focused on a very specific spot at the Jersey Shore on Long Beach Island. At the south end of the island, there is a jetty that used to be all wood and has been reinforced with a metal groin. This structure is intended to prevent erosion, but it does much more. It provides an environment that attracts surfers, fishermen, and beachgoers. At dawn, the metallic surface catches the first rays of the day to shine as an iridescent piece of sculpture. I started the project very much myopically on the actual structure, but I have since become increasingly interested in the people who congregate here for surfing, fishing, or just plain being. The scene is called The Wooden Jetty, and my attempt to capture the intersection of this human-made structure and nature, plus some cool people it attracts. Sincerely, Gerard." All right, so Gerard, this is really nicely done. Again, like I was saying earlier about zines, what I love about this is it explores a single topic, and what I really love about it is that you started with one thing and kind of evolved into something else, and I think that's really cool. I mean, that's half of, the importance of what we're doing as photographers is leaving ourselves open to those discoveries, and it would be really cool to not see this stop here, and I want to see where you go with this, and maybe it's this subject, maybe it's a different subject, but, I mentioned Ralph Gibson a lot before, and he always calls this the point of departure. This gives you a starting place, and I'm really curious to see where your work goes next. Anyway, this is very nicely done. I will link up to his work below. You should get a copy of this. It's really awesome. So thanks, Gerard. All right, so next up is a whole cool envelope of stuff. This comes to us from Taran Morgan, who is a photographer from Seattle, Washington, and I'll share some of this with you. There are some Instax prints here. Taran does a lot of really cool nature photography. These are really nice. Very cool. There is also an archival print here. And there's a selection of zines. These are really neat. This is a series called May the Gods Feed Them Honey. I want to share these with you. Taran also included a note which reads, "Hello, Mr. Forbes. I am a big fan of your work and your YouTube channel, and I humbly submit my 4 zines published this year to your library. I am a photographer that has been working hard the last couple decades and have only now just gotten around to showing some of my work as physicals. Overall, this was a bit of a labor of love to see how the Mixam.com printing process went, did everything in Apple Pages, and then just uploaded the PDF. It was quite a learning experience, both good and bad, but I can say nothing beats doing it yourself. I miss the old days of Bruce Fraser and the Epson print seminars. Included is a Profoto TIFF print, so you can see the difference in my own archival prints. Thanks again for your contributions to the sport, Taran. All right, so Taran, a couple things that I want to say. First of all, I do love the print, and I appreciate you sending this, but I want to say something because, like, Mix'em does a really good job on zines. It's an excellent company. But one thing that I think a lot of people get stuck with, especially if you've done a lot of your own printing, is trying to compare the quality of what you're going to get out of something that's going to be mass-produced with something that is essentially a one-off, although you could do more than that, an archival print that you did on Epson printer. And I'm not saying one is better than the other, they're just two different things, so I wouldn't get too into comparing them. But I do want to say a couple really positive things that I love about your zine. First of all, you know, you look at the number of photographers that are out there in the world and people who take pictures, and most people do things like share stuff on Instagram. A couple of them might get into printing their work, and very few of them actually get into putting their work together to present as a zine or even a book. And very few of those actually do more than one zine. The idea with a zine and the whole thing with zine culture, and it's kind of changed and it's kind of a loose term now, but initially it was a way to publish your work and send it out, and you were self-publishing essentially. And now we have a lot of technology that makes that really cool, whether it's Mix'em or any of the other companies that do it. And what I like that you've done here is that you've actually created a series of zines. So this would be something that would circulate. You have editions of it there, and I love the fact that they're all slightly different. And you may have done that just as a learning process through the printer, but I like the fact that the typography is varied from zine to zine. You're not using the same fonts or the same design necessarily. And I think it's something that's really cool, and I think it's something that I would really like to see more photographers participate in. And I think that's the whole magic of doing a zine. I love the fact that you did these over the period of a year. I think the work is outstanding. I really like the stuff you're doing. And anyway, bravo. I just want to keep seeing you do more. But I did want to make that note about the archival print, because I've gotten that from people before, that they're having trouble with the quality of what they're getting in something that's designed to be a publication, and it's just a different printing process. And you can't compare the two, because in essence, in the end, the viewer is not going to compare the two, and they're never going to get down to the point where they prefer one over the other or think that one is bad because it's a different quality. But, you know, when you go for archival printing, you're going to get a certain look. When you go for printing for a publication, you're going to get a different kind of look. The paper's different, the ink is different, the process is different. And so I say this because I'm encouraging other people who've gotten caught in the same dilemma to do the same thing. It's okay to think of them as two different mediums, because they really are. So anyway, awesome work, and I really appreciate you sharing this. All right, so awesome work sent in today. I'm going to link to everybody in the description, so support your fellow artists and check out their stuff. A lot of these are for sale if you want to buy one. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Until then, later.